Structural balance throughout our training is very important because how our muscles can affect our posture and the health of our tissues, orthopedically speaking. In looking at our postural position, increased lordosis can have effects at creating pain at the hip, low back, thoracic spine, neck, and as well potentially any of the lower kinetic chain areas. Increased lordosis can often be a culprit within a highly trained individual based off of latissimus dorsi training. The latissimus dorsi is involved with creating extension at the arm, internal rotation and abduction, which places it into a shortened position. A lengthened position would then be the opposite of shoulder flexion. Its involvement at the pelvis is important. Note here in this example that in a neutral position, the hip is allowed to flex on a neutral pelvis. In this example, the latissimus dorsi is over-recruited, leading to an anterior pelvic tilt, which would basically decrease the amount of available hip flexion present. And this would change the bony posture of the pelvis to rotate. Typically, this can be a result of training exposures to only exposing the lat into a shortened position. So activities such as a deadlift place the lat into a shortened position because it is performing its shortened position. It's moving itself from about maybe 80 degrees of shoulder flexion right into extension. Unless we're performing a lengthen-based exercise such as pull-ups, and this doesn't mean kippings, this means actual strict pull-ups, the structural balance of what that lat can do and how it plays a role in the pelvis will be greatly affected. So what we want to be able to do is understand how our anatomy is going to play a role within our training and how that training can play a role in additional future training because of how those muscles can affect bony posture, right? And how that bony change might be limiting us, right, in performing other activities. Imagine attempting to perform a deep squat with a overactive latissimus dorsi or potentially other various muscles that are leading to this increased lordotic curvature. That would lead to the dreaded butt wink as we get to the bottom. And most individuals will still express that and be okay. But this can be a predominant role because we're not getting enough, right? Enough balance, enough structural balance.